Good day guys, nice to have you here as always. Today, let's get serious and talk about the upcoming release of Revamped Argus. It's speculated that he should be out at around the same time as the next major release of Project Next, which means it's going to be very soon. Recently, Moonton sent out a survey in the advanced server which covered questions on what to improve on Argus and what should be nerfed. I for one am a strong supporter of turning him into a much stronger hero. However, despite responses from that survey and despite receiving mostly negative feedback, Moonton has yet to implement adjustments that we can deem as just for our beloved Argus. With that being said, here are 5 reasons why I think this revamp will suck big time. Number 1. Moonton can't make up their minds. I for one agree that ADC fighters or ADC melee heroes will always have a horrible time in Mobile Legends. Some players may disagree, but let's face it, ADC fighters or ADC melee heroes will always have a hard time, especially in a competitive setup. This isn't Dota. Yes, ADC melee heroes thrive and are viable in Dota, but not in Mobile Legends. Why is that? Well, first of all, heroes in Mobile Legends in most cases have above average mobility. To make matters worse, there are battle spells in Mobile Legends which is not available in games like Dota. Having an extra battle spell to escape will always make it more challenging for ADC melee heroes to reach and pin down their targets. Hence, the best way of developing Argus is by turning him into a utility fighter or a bruiser that's capable of dealing decent damage but at the same time has outstanding kit overall. What makes a hero kit outstanding, you ask? Well, when we're talking about heroes with outstanding kits, just to name a few, those are heroes like Jawhead, Yuzhong, Cho, Thomas, Paquito, Sylvana, Guinevere, Lapu Lapu, and the list goes on and on and on. All of them pretty much have one thing in common. They all have excellent kits, specifically designed and are all characteristics of a good or effective solo laner. They deal AoE damage, they can inflict crowd control against multiple targets, and at the same time inflict heavy burst damage or DPS damage. With what we're seeing now, Moonton is turning Argus into a tweener. What is a tweener? A tweener is derived from the word between, which means he is a combination of 2 different aspects or 2 different archetypes. In other words, Moonton is turning him into an ADC melee hero with characteristics of a bruiser. In other games like Dota, this is an excellent idea, but in Mobile Legends, it's not. While I'm not against Moonton for lowering down his basic attacks and damage output, however, they should have improved his skills further. They could have improved his second skill and give the ability to damage and cause curse to multiple targets, with his first skill being able to also affect multiple targets and vacuum all that's affected towards Argus. You know, just like how Tigreal pulls affected enemies by his ultimate. If Moonton wants to turn him into a bruiser, turn him into a full-fledged bruiser. Otherwise, I'd rather have Moonton leave the current Argus alone and just let him stay the way he is. Number 2, there aren't too many heroes that Argus can counter. Let's not be ahead of ourselves. With what's going on right now, Argus is less likely to become meta. Moonton can at the very least turn him into a counter pick. While heroes like Hilda, Xborg, Badang, and a bunch of others aren't as famous as most other solo laners, they are however excellent counters or excellent role heroes. Badang is an excellent set hero that can be played well with other champions or with other heroes rather. Plus, Purify doesn't work with the wall he creates to block the enemy's ways. Xborg is an excellent solo laner that's both useful in tearing down clashes and minions alike. In addition to that, his wide range is a good utility for spreading out debuffs against the entire enemy team. And of course, my one and only Hilda. She is especially handy in dispensing squishies and is excellent in hit and run tactics against a squishy lineup. I mean, 12 seconds cooldown for ultimate? Come on. With Argus, I can't think of a hero that he can counter well. Yes, we can safely say that he is powerful in terms of nullifying their attacks and skills, but is he excellent in taking them down though? Currently, the meta includes heroes that can reach max mobility in a heartbeat. Even with sprint, Argus will have difficulty dealing with them. Number 3. Argus can be countered by a lot of heroes and a lot of strategies. Burst, crowd control, high mobility heroes, dash, blinks, poke type heroes, etc. The list goes on and on. Some heroes have, let's say, 1 or 2 counters. Argus has a lot. Really, the best way to improve him is by buffing his skill mechanics. No, not his damage, his skills. Those are what should be improved. Basic attacks can easily be countered, especially if you have to reach your targets just to take them down. But excellent skill mechanics can be used to outchase, outplay, and outmaneuver your targets. The improvement they did with his first skill is good, but guys, his second skill is awful. Truth be told, if Moonton wants Argus to be viable, he has to survive more, and in order to survive more, he has to have a more complex and more competitive skill set. Number 4. Prolonging his ultimate's duration is not a good thing. We all want Argus to become powerful, but come on guys, we have to be realistic. We want a viable hero that everyone can play, not a hero that gets banned 9 times out of 10. We want him to be strong, but it has to be realistic. You know what will make his ultimate competitive but not overpowered? Well, give it an auto-cast function. Right now, they removed his ability to increase rage gain when low in health, and instead added that perk while his ultimate is active. Well, let's add another condition to the mix. If Argus receives a fatal strike that will normally kill him, as long as his ultimate is in cooldown, it will automatically cast. That's just a small adjustment, but that will greatly improve his playstyle. What makes Revamped Argus weak is against heroes that can deal more than 2000 damage in a heartbeat. Yes, we have heroes like Hilda, you know? So yeah, in some cases, Argus gets flat out dead when he has 50 HP, or rather 50% HP left, and all of a sudden, some monster decides to burst him out. So in my opinion, if you want to improve him, add an auto cast function or mechanic to his ultimate. Number 5. I know a lot of people will disagree and hate me for this, but in my opinion, Argus is not very dynamic. He only has one meta build, and that is to create an item set that's ideal for him to deal as much damage as possible. That's it. Yes, there may be variations, but there's only one goal, and that's to build him in a sense that he'll be able to deal tremendous damage in a heartbeat, and that's because he has to do so due to the short duration of his ultimate. Remember what I told you guys earlier with his ultimate having an auto cast mechanic? Well, if Argus had such a mechanic, he could just turn into a more viable hero capable of bruising and soaking damage as opposed to just being the damage dealer. He will have more item combos. He'll be more viable, he'll be more adaptive. Picture this. His first skill can stun multiple targets in a small area and has the ability to pull them towards him, while his second skill has a wider range that can cause curse and damage to multiple targets, and an ultimate that auto-casts if in cooldown and he receives a fatal blow. Even if they keep the lowered damage output, he can still become an effective solo laner. Visualize his first skill, latching onto 2 or 3 heroes, then inflicting damage and curse to a wider area using his second skill. Now that's a hero that will be feared. I don't know about you guys, those are just my thoughts. You know, it's just me. I could be wrong, I'm not saying I'm right, just my opinion, but what do you guys think? Are those good ideas? Will those ideas turn Argus into a meta hero, or at the very least a viable option? Let me know down in the comments section, and as always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!